Abandoned mineshafts are a bit pants. Introduced way back in 2011, they certainly look their age, don't they? I mean, this is 2011 Minecraft in a nutshell, isn't it? Absolutely no detail, no shape whatsoever, just square with wooden planks and a few fence posts. This was 99% of all Minecraft builds at the time. Now, what I want to do in today's video is give them a complete refresh and bring them up to 2019 by doing some new decoration and also by adding some redstone, but also keeping the feeling that they're naturally generated Minecraft structures. This could be difficult. As a complete side note, I have no idea why that camera was so shaky then. The cameraman's been fired. So I would say first things first, we need to do a little bit of work on these Minecart Rails because, I mean, they don't really seem to go anywhere and they don't have any minecarts on them. So let's fix that up in an interesting way. What I'm thinking is we have a little minecart loop with a little item system in it, and what it will do is it will deposit one item into the minecart, and then it will also remove an item from the minecart. So the minecart will loop around like this, and every single time it comes around it will have a different item on the inside of it. If this works, I will be in shock, okay? Because it's so simple. It just involves three things. So we've got a little detector rail on the inside. Now let's see what happens here. Okay. It actually works. That is so simple. So that was successful. Now I've just been looking around and I can't deal with building in this area here, so I think we're going to do a little bit of decorative stuff quickly. Now that is going to involve essentially just ruining the entire area. I'm just going to make it look like an abandoned mineshaft as opposed to just a square hole with some fence posts in it. 2 hours later, and this is what we've got. Now, I'm no builder. I don't pretend to be a builder in the slightest. I kind of just chuck some blocks around here. But I have to say, I think this is a bit of an improvement. I mean, there's plenty more to look at, that's for sure. It definitely feels like a much more completed build. And I really like it. I'm quite proud of this thing, secretly. Even though it's taken quite some time to do, it's a huge, huge step up. Seriously. Now, once we start adding in some redstone contraptions and things, I mean, I think this is going to be a really special little place. Now, what I want to pretend here is that this mineshaft actually used to be operational, but then some form of chemical or some form of infection started down in the mineshaft, and it turned all of the workers into zombies. Now, obviously, these workers would need to have somewhere to sleep, so let's punch out this area here and create some bunk rooms. So we got John, we've got Keith, and then we've got Sharon the zombie. Okay, so let's chuck these guys and gals into the bunk, and then also I thought I'd add in an extra thing with some resources that you can get in this bunk room. So obviously, it's going to be quite dangerous going in here with these 3 zombies, so there has to be some form of reward. So I thought if you break the glass and then flick the lever, you can then gain access to a resource chest. Nice little detail. Now, if there's one thing that Indiana Jones has taught me, is that if you're walking through a cave, it's going to cave in behind you at some point. So we might as well add those into the abandoned mineshafts in Minecraft as well. And it should actually be quite simple. All we need is a little flush trapdoor type thing in the ceiling that will move all the blocks out of the way, and then a bunch of gravel ready to fall down, and this should create the effect. And I honestly can't believe how invisible tripwires are. Like, I still can't remember where I've put it. The only thing that gives it away is the hitboxes, but if I walk through this thing, that's actually quite realistic. I feel like it needs a sound effect, but I don't know how we could do it using vanilla things. Other than maybe some TNT, but the delay, I don't know. Now, just as a prior warning, this could end up exploding everything, but TNT minecarts are always a pretty good way to go if you want instant TNT noises. And 3, 2, 1... that could have been better. Right, let's try that again with just a few less TNT minecarts. That was much better. Full-blown Indiana Jones. We have reached 100% Indiana Jones. And actually, I think I'm going to continue on that Indiana Jones theme, because one thing that always seems to come up in those sorts of films are keys to access certain secret areas. So why don't we play on that? There will be a key located somewhere inside. I really like the idea of a sea pickle being a key. It is sort of key-like. But anyway, as I was saying, there will be a key located somewhere in the abandoned mineshaft that can then be used in one of the minecart chests found inside the abandoned mineshaft to open up a secret part of the abandoned mineshaft. Now let's see how well this works. I mean, it should work pretty well because all of this is some super old school redstone. This is I mean, I've probably built this sort of thing way back when I first started. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Sometimes the oldest redstone is the best redstone. I feel like it would be wrong for me not to trap one of these. I mean, you know, it's all well and good, us accessing a secret room, but there shouldn't be any such thing as a free lunch, you know? I feel like we really need to add a comparator behind this that runs into some TNT minecarts. I don't know if it's obvious, but I'm really enjoying TNT minecarts at this point in time. Oh no! You would learn very quickly to check behind those item frames, wouldn't you? So I would say we're doing pretty well so far, but one thing that we're kind of lacking is any form of, I guess, large-scale events, or I'm not going to say the words boss battle, but kind of like a clear objective to work towards. So let's do that now. What I'm thinking is, we have a room a little bit like this one. Obviously, I'll decorate it a little bit more in a second, but in the center, we have a diamond block. Now, if you try and take that diamond block, instantly this happens. We can actually detect that, and then we can trigger an event. And that event looks something a little bit like this. Is that a little bit overkill? I mean, there's a chance that that is a tiny bit overkill, but I mean, how can I not? Imagine how much you would be caught by surprise if that activated in your abandoned mineshaft. That is hilarious. You know, this is really difficult because I'm trying my best to keep the essence of naturally generated Minecraft structures and not go completely crazy with mad redstone contraptions and keep things fairly sensible. But you know me, I really want to go overboard complicated. It's difficult to resist. But resist I shall, because I think one thing that would be cool in an abandoned mineshaft is if you had almost like a safe house. So this is an area that a villager who has survived the infection type thing has created where they kind of bar off a certain area of the mineshaft. So say for example we go up to around about here. So if we add in a bunch of iron bars, that kind of shuts it off from the rest. And then inside here we've got a little combination lock and things, but most importantly we also have extra resources. Now the combination lock that I just mentioned is the way that you actually get into this place. So you can see we've got kind of like a little sticky piston door here, and my combination is those two levers there. Super simple little lever combination lock, but it works well. And I gotta say, I am really starting to like the feel of this abandoned mineshaft. It would be so cool to have these actually in naturally generated worlds. I would go out on hunts for them. And also with these new villager designs, I mean, imagine how cool it would be if we could get an abandoned mineshaft villager. He's all ragged, his clothes are all torn, maybe he's got a beard, his trades are super cheap because he'll do anything for emeralds. He hasn't seen a human for many years. Honestly, I think we're onto a winner with this one. Minecraft 1.15. Anyway, another simple redstone contraption here. This one's pretty obvious. We're going to replace this minecart chest rail with a detector rail, and then we're going to take a comparator output from that detector rail, and when the player removes all of the items, yeah, it will cause issues. I had no idea that you couldn't lava log blocks. I mean, obviously you can waterlog a half slab. That is total news to me. How embarrassing. Well, this solution doesn't work quite as well, but it's still okay. So the lava drops down, and if you're just kind of looking through all the items and things, that's going to spread out, and that's going to cause some damage. Another thing that hopefully does a little bit of damage is my next tripwire trap. Once again, really simple, nothing too crazy going on here, but very in-fitting with the sort of booby traps that you would expect from a zombie-infested abandoned mineshaft. And go. I mean, what more could you possibly need, to be honest with you? An off switch would be handy right now. So it turns out that actually the arrows were activating the tripwire, creating like an infinite loop of pain and destruction. So thankfully I managed to switch that off, and I've come up with a thing here that I actually think could work really well. So, you know, we now have these stone half slabs here. Well, they work perfectly for the floor if we just build them up like this, and then when you drop off them, it's almost impossible to spot something like a pressure plate on the floor. So we can do some really cool pitfall traps here, especially now that we have scaffolding blocks. I mean, we can build up from one area of scaffolding, we can then build up and out, and then a piston can just break the scaffolding, everything collapses down. I'm not sure if a lava pitfall is overly harsh. It might be overly harsh for naturally generated Minecraft structures, but for this example, we're going to use it. So we're walking, we've just gone through that tripwire, we've been battered by arrows, we're feeling a little bit rough and ready. We walk over the pressure plates and, oh my word, that is brutal. God, there's no stopping that, is there? You wouldn't be able to do anything. You literally wouldn't be able to do a thing. Oh, that kind of feels a little bit harsh, but I kind of love it. I mean, I gotta say, I really, really like this place that we've created here. There's plenty of challenges in it. There's also plenty of rewards. There's things that you can find. There's little adventures that you can take. There's turns that you can turn. I kind of ran out of things to say here. I feel like this could actually be quite a big improvement to the game if something along these lines was implemented in a future Minecraft update. I'd be interested to know your thoughts to this down in the comment section, and also let me know any extra suggestions that you think would really up this to the next level. But anyway, ladies and gents, I really do hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please sure to that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.